Good evening. I want to welcome all of you here tonight for the second annual 8th grade awards assembly program. I'm glad to see that all of you survived the storm of last Sunday, and I hope all of you have electricity. And to those of you that don't, as a public service announcement, we would like to let you know that the showers will be open at the end of the assembly, so if anybody would like to use them, they are there. As already said, this is our second annual awards presentation, and I'm very pleased that we have started to do this here at the middle school. However, I cannot take credit for it. This came about as a result of the staff wanting to give some special recognition to some 8th graders that have done outstanding jobs while they've been here at the middle school. It was their idea, they developed the program, and I'm very happy and pleased with it. And at this time, before we start, I do want to thank those people that have spent time getting the things together, getting the awards together, setting up the stage, and having this program available tonight. The people that were involved in this were Mr. Bates, Mrs. Bates, Mr. McGough, Mrs. Hurst, Mr. Rakicki, Mrs. Sager, Mr. Sands, Mr. Scheib, Mrs. Smith, and Mrs. Willing. All of these people have worked very hard to put this program on tonight. With that, I would like to get into our program, and our first thing tonight will be our opening address. And for that tonight, we have the superintendent of the Chesaning Union School District, Mr. Mike Dewey.
Good evening. Tom talked about using the facilities afterwards. Some of you may have used it beforehand. If you're staying all close together, we appreciate that. This evening is about 8th graders. It's about their accomplishments. It's about the many things that they've done this year, and gives us an opportunity to be able to recognize those great accomplishments. They're at a point in their life now, they're leaving the middle school and they're going to be moving on to the high school. Some of them are thinking about that. It's going to be a very long summer for some of our 8th graders. But as in the past, they're going to move forward and they're going to do a great job. I've heard nothing but positive comments about this group of 8th graders. And it's a pleasure this evening to be part of this program. I commend the staff and the administration at the middle school for thinking of this program and really putting it together to be able to give us an opportunity to say to these 8th graders, thank you for all you've done at the middle school. We appreciate everything you've done, and also to our moms and dads for helping our students get to this point in their lives. So without any further ado, I would like to begin the program. And with that, I think the next person is Mr. Rakicki. Thank you.
Good evening. The next award was known as the Gmi Award, and now it's been changed to the Chesaning University Award. This last year they changed the name of Gmi. The students voted on it. They had a little rebellion at first, but they came to consensus. I'm very proud to present this award, so I want to give you some background to it, because I'm sure a lot of the parents do not know what goes into this presentation. Any 8th grade student that's involved in math is allowed to apply for this award. We had 4 students that made applicants out with Mr. Bates, and they then sent them to Chesaning University, which they were scrutinized and went through by a panel. Most of the students that are accepted for the summer program come from Genesee County. And it's been our pleasure and our it's been very fortunate for us that in the last 5 years we've had at least 2 students selected from our district to go every summer for this project. When they're over there, students learn how to build computers from the ground up. That's their first project. Next, they're involved with taking on a project of their own, which involves robotics, solar energy, and fiber optics. They are put in with the other group of students, and they work on these projects. Every day they have to give a speech to the group on their progress or their failures, because at times it doesn't always turn out the way they think it's going to. But within a couple weeks, they present these projects to their parents and to people that are asked to come to the dinner. And from then, they are allowed at some times to take these home, or they are left there for Kettering University to dispose of. But for the idea of being able to work on something like this at this age, and to get their foot in the door and in this type of field, is quite an honor. And believe you me, Kettering is going to want these students for the next 4 years of their life. Not only do they do this, but they take trips throughout the counties to visit various companies and see how they're run and perform, and take advantage of the University of Ann Arbor and various other places throughout the state. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce the 2 students that were selected from Chesaning Middle School for this year's scholarship award. First off, Natalie George. Second, Nicole Turnwell. Mr. Bates presents the certificate to them. Congratulations. Next, we'd like to have Nikki Busey come up.
Dear students, congratulations on receiving the President's Education Award. Mrs. Clinton and I are happy to join your teachers, family, and friends in recognizing this wonderful achievement. This award is a special recognition of your hard work and determination to make the most of your abilities. Whether you go on to advanced studies or begin a career, I encourage you to make the most of your education and become a lifelong learner. By doing so, you can broaden your world, discover new ideas, and help to lead our country into the 21st century. Whatever path you choose, I hope you will always reach out to help others, continue to set high goals, and believe in yourself. Best wishes for a future filled with happiness and success. Signed, William Jefferson Clinton, President of the United States.
At this time, then, we will now present the Presidential Outstanding Academic Achievement and Presidential Outstanding Educational Improvement. The individuals that are presenting this award will be Mr. Rikicki, Mr. Freeland, and Mr. Bates.
Our first award that we're handing out tonight is the President's Outstanding Academic Achievement Award. And this is a very simple way of figuring this award. Students for 4 years in the middle school had to achieve a 3.5 grade point average. So these people that we call up here tonight and recognize are people who worked very hard for these last 4 years. We will call them down to be recognized individually, and we would ask you please to hold your applause for this large group until the end of all the presentations. Our first recipient is Melanie Vrabel. They know their parts well. Michelle Zalin. Ryan Kramer. Chad Suka. Mary Schneider. Mary Hughes. Bryn Call. Laura Kinsrud. Cassie Ryder. Justin Kempinen. Gary Reichert. Kylie Koenig. Julie Esmer. Holly Garner. Jessica Bates. Nicole Turnwald. Erica Schuster. Gregory Reeves. Sarah Weigold. Carrie Hudicek. Justin Birchmeyer. Zachary Alden. Carolyn Hemker. Alyssa Emmendorfer. Andrea Weisenberger. David Emmendorfer. Carissa Kukolas. Jessica Platt. Jill Meyer. Shauna Hemmisford. Brian Ryder. Brent Basham. Dustin Gross. Natalie George. Dara Wolverton. Congratulations, group, on an outstanding year. And forward. Our next award is the President's Educational Improvement Award. And this award is determined by the teachers. Any teacher may nominate a student for the Educational Improvement Award. Usually 2 teachers would recommend that this student would receive this award based on improvements on their in their educational efforts and achievement. So at this time, we'd like to do the same program. We'd like to call students up one at a time to receive the special award. Our first award goes to Jason Russell. We'll try to do our program the same as the first group. We'll call one student up and they'll replace the one that's already here. And please hold your applause until the end of this list, please. Our next recipient is Heather Prince. Thomas Kachuk. Kara Wendland. Chelsea Gieskin. Jacob Rigai. Joseph Stroop. Nicole Busey. Rachel Van Heeren. Lori Trumbull. Nicholas Dudek. Matthew Kuhani. Tricia Cool. Richard Birchmeyer. Hannah McDougall. Jeannie Stan. Renee Fernandez. Again, our congratulations to this group for a fine effort. We also have awards for each department that will be given out tonight. Awards are given in math, social studies, language arts, and science. Our presenters tonight will be for math, Mr. Bates, for science, Mr. Lee, for language arts, Mrs. Smith, and for social studies, Mrs. Sager. We'll begin with the math awards first. So, Mr. Bates. It will follow the same format as the other awards. Our first recipient for math will be Melanie Vrabel. Our next recipient, Bryn Call. Mary Schneider. Ryan Kramer. Michelle Zalek. Mary Hughes. Heather Prince. Matt Kuhani. Holly Garner. Carolyn Hemker. This concludes our math portion of our department awards. Next we'll go to language arts. Our presenter will be Mrs. Smith. Our language arts award goes to Melanie Vrabel. We're starting the jingle now. Mary Schneider. Ryan Kramer. Gary Reichert. Julie Esmer. Michelle Zadlik. Jessica Bates. Bryn Call. Holly Garno. Cassie Ryber. And Kara Wendland. Outstanding job, language arts people. Our next department award will be science, presented by Mr. Lee. Natalie George. Gary Reichert. Greg Reeves. Mary Schneider. Carrie Hudicek. Jeremy Phillips. Ryan Kramer. Laura Kinsrud. Mary Hughes. Melanie Grable. Congratulations to our science students. As you can see, we've got some multi-talented people here on stage. Our next awards will be the Department of Social Studies, Mrs. Sanger presenting. Let's begin. Carrie Hudacek. Bryn Call. Rachel Van Haren. Michelle Sadler. Chad Suka. Melanie Vrabel. Ryan Kramer. Greg Reeves. Natalie George. Gary Reichert. Congratulations to our Social Studies Award winners.
Congratulations, people. I see after watching Mr. Rikicki put on the ribbons for those of you who received the presidential awards, I think we better write a letter to Mr. Clinton and tell him he has to spend a little bit more money and make those ribbons just a little bit bigger to go over some of those hairstyles. I also noticed that if these girls get any taller and continue to wear these thick-soled shoes, Mr. Rikicki's going to need a stool. they start putting those on them. So congratulations, you've all done a very fine job. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to present the Principals Award along with Mr. Rikicki. This award is decided upon by Mr. Rikicki and myself. We take a look at the students that are here, their achievements, and we have to come up with one student. It's not an easy task, but it's a pleasant task because we get to look over the names and the achievements of all of the students here. And it is a hard decision. But this year we did come up and we found a student that not only did an outstanding job, but an exemplary job. And it gives me great pleasure to present this award tonight, the Principal's Award to Melanie Brable. She's jingling enough tonight to pull Santa's sleigh. Next is another award that was started in Saginaw County last year. It's called the Turnaround Student. This program was developed by a firm out of Texas to recognize students that over their career at middle school and high school have changed. Students that maybe didn't start out on a real good note, but finished strong. And we felt that people felt that these students need to be recognized. This program is sponsored by the Saginaw Intermediate School District along with Candlelight Bowling, TV5. There's a number of organizations that have contributed money to make this program a success. And on May 14th, there was a banquet that was held to honor all of the students that received this award in Saginaw County. This year, we did nominate a student, and she did receive an award as a turnaround student. And we felt that we wanted to recognize this student tonight. When she started here at the middle school and I first became familiar with this student, it was never on a pleasant note. It was always at a problem. And in the last couple of years, she has really changed things around. And that's not done easy. She had to do it herself. She had to find that strength to change and to improve. She's not only improved her attitude, her self-esteem, but also her grades have risen. So it gives me pleasure to give this award to Mary Gomez. At this time, there's Mrs. Sager would like to have a few words. It's not on the program, but she has asked to have a few words.
I had some of the 8th grade students come up to me and ask me if I would allow them some time tonight because they want to present an award to a special individual. Those people that are going to be presenting, Cassie and Annie, would you come up, please?
Our third-hour algebra class would like to present this gift to one of our favorite teachers.
Who has put up with 2 years of our questions and complaints, like when are we ever going to use this?
Mr. Michael James Bates.
That brings us to an end of the festivities tonight. I see by the thing I'm supposed to have some closing statements, and I do have a few. However, I do want to say that this is the longest I've ever seen this group set without really blowing up and having to run around to do something. And I really do appreciate it. And I think a few of them here in the front are really starting to shake because they really need to start moving around. But I do feel that I do want to say something to you before you leave this building and leave our staff. It's been a pleasure knowing you for the last 3 years that I've been here. Many of you have done an outstanding job, you've been involved, and we appreciate that. But now you're going on to the next level. Things are going to be a little bit different at the high school. You're going to be a little bit more independent. And I guess I want to say to you that as you go on to high school, of course, one of your main goals is going to be academics. That's your first goal. But the second thing I want to encourage all of you to do is to get involved with something. There are many, many things at the high school that you can get involved in. Don't think it just has to be sports. There's FFA, there's Kappa, there's forensics. There's many things that you can get involved with. I really question a student when I hear them say to their parents or to me or to somebody, there's nothing to do. I find that most students don't have enough time. They can't do everything that they wish. They can't take all the classes that they would like. There is a lot of things there. Get involved. Believe me, academics are important, but some of your greatest memories are going to be the extracurricular activities that you get involved in. When you go back to a class reunion, you know, your 5th year, 10th year, whatever it may be, you will sit around, but you won't sit around and talk about, you remember that test we took in geometry or that biology experiment that we had to do? The things that are going to bring back your fondest memories are the activities and the friends that you get involved with while you're there. So use it. Get involved. Those 4 years are going to go by so fast. You sit here tonight and you think, oh, I got plenty of time. But believe me, it goes by quick. And before you know it, you will be setting up here for your high school awards program, and then you'll be marching across the stage at Showell Park. We will miss you. We want to congratulate all of you, and we hope that you have a wonderful high school career. And remember that we're still here if you want to come over and see us. So with that, I want to close the ceremonies and remind everybody that there are refreshments that are out in the auditorium, or excuse me, in the cafeteria at the end. Thank you very much for coming.